Hello, I'm Mac Nichols, an attorney with Layman Nichols, and I want to share some basics about estate planning. Basic estate planning can consist of a will, power of attorney, medical directive, and possibly a revocable trust. In this video, we will focus on the use of a will. The purpose of a will is to provide for the distribution of your property, name a guardian for the care of any minor children, name an executor of your estate to carry out your plan of distribution, and name a trustee to handle your children's assets. Let's look first at the role of the executor. The initial duty of the executor is to gather the assets of the estate and to pay the debts and expenses, to file an income tax return for the decedent and the estate, to administer the estate through the probate process. This initially involves filing an inventory with the Commissioner of Accounts and then filing accountings with the Commissioner of Accounts that will set out the receipts of the account of the estate and the distributions. And then finally to distribute the property according to the will. Now the executor does not need to have any specific legal or financial expertise. They just simply need to be someone that you can trust to carry out the terms of your will. The role of the guardian is probably the most important position that you'll name. You need to choose someone who will raise your children in accordance with your ideals and principles. They would take care of your child's personal needs, including providing a place to live, providing for their education, and medical care. This is a big responsibility and commitment, so there needs to be a lot of communication with them prior to naming them. Now let's look at the role of the trustee. Now, a trustee is only going to be necessary if there are minor beneficiaries. The executor would transfer to the trustee for each minor beneficiary their share of your estate. The trustee would then oversee the investment of those assets, and then he would also be involved with the distribution of those assets. Now, what you need to also consider is at what age you would want the assets of that trust distributed to your children or other minors. We suggest using staggered ages, providing the trustee discretion to make distributions of principal during the term of the trust. The trustee would maybe make distributions of principal for use of the beneficiary for vacations, camp, special needs, secondary education costs, college, graduate school, and possibly also maybe to purchase a house or purchase a business. Also, the trustee would look at possibly transferring assets or making distributions to the guardians. You would want to consider in your will providing for whether you would want a monthly stipend to be distributed to your guardians to cover additional costs that they may incur in caring for your children, whether they would need to purchase a larger vehicle to accommodate your children, as well as whether they may need a larger home or put an addition onto their existing home. Now, the trustee may be separate from your executor as far as the person, but it also can be the same as the executor. So you just mainly need to consider the roles of executor, trustee, and guardian and the interactions and the naming of them. Lastly, let's look at the use of wills versus a revocable trust. A revocable trust is simply a will substitute. It's mainly used to avoid probate since the assets are owned by the trust rather than you individually. Now, the probate process in Virginia is not that overly burdensome or costly as compared to other states. One other benefit of using a revocable trust is the aspect of providing privacy. With a revocable trust, the assets and distributions are not part of the public record. As you can see, estate planning is important, and depending on your assets and whether or not you have children, it is important you seek the advice of competent professionals. As you begin your estate planning, we at Layman & Nichols would be delighted to be able to help you with your estate planning needs. Thank you and look forward to working with you.